everybody else thinks it's coming up. Maybe you need to send an interesting record.
Yeah.
Any interest?
See, there's been a lot of pushback.
Yeah.
Call to order the Stevensville Town Council meeting for Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. Janelle, would you please call the roll?
Councilmember Bailey? Present. Councilmember Ross?
President.
Councilmember Wandler?
Present.
Councilmember Smith?
Here.
And Mayor Cruz.
I'm here. You join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Melissa, would you lead the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. This time we'll call for public comment on anything that is not on the agenda.
Howdy, Mayor Cruz.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, my name is John Schneeberger. I'm from Hamilton, Montana, with the Bitter Climate Action Group. And I sent you all some information on the fire season, the lengthening fire season. And for your convenience, I'll provide a little top line summary of some of the information that I sent you. A NASA article in 2015 from the Forest Service study, fire seasons getting longer, more frequent. The article referenced a peer-reviewed paper, The Climate-Induced Variations in Global Wildfire danger, from 1979 to 2013. The lead author is Dr. Matt Jolly, Forest Service research ecologist with the Rocky Mountain Research Station, Missoula Fire Sciences Laboratory. Quote, the researchers found that the fire seasons have lengthened across 1/4 of the Earth's vegetative surface. In certain areas, extending the fire season by a bit each year added up to a large change over the full study period. For instance, part of the western United States and Mexico, Brazil, and East Africa now face wildfire seasons that are more than a month longer than they were 35 years ago. The author attributed the longer season in western United States to changes in the timing of snowmelt, vapor pressure, and the timing of spring rains, all of which have been linked to global warming and climate change. Additionally, on the USDA Climate Hub website on wildfire, since 1970, the wildfire season in western states has extended from 5 months to over 7 months in length. Since the 1980s, the number of large fires and areas burned has significantly increased, with a sizable proportion of the increase in fire activity occurring in the forests of the northern Rocky Mountains, followed by forests in the Pacific Northwest and Southwest. In addition, the average burn time of individual fires has grown from 6 days between 1973 and 1982 to 52 days between 2003 and 2012. Increases in large fire activity and area burned have been driven by rising temperatures, reduced winter snowpack, earlier snowmelt, reduced summer precipitation, and increased evaporation. So that's the overall summary. Thank you.
And I would like to add something to that too. People don't realize this, but we've already had a couple of major fires outbreak here in Montana, down at Red Lodge.
Right.
The big one. But also in the Atlantic coast, wildfires are growing. In fact, where my brother lives near Nahunta, Georgia, they have a wildfire going right now that is severely impacting the area. And those people don't quite understand wildfires like we do out here. His home is potentially threatened along with his 6 sons and their families. So it is a growing problem, and I believe that a lot of it has to do down there with overpopulation and mismanagement of water.
It's another factor, yeah. And lots more people living in wildfire for us. The fire season in the plains has actually been extended by more than 40 days.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Feel free to come back anytime. I appreciate it.
I'll be back next month.
Okay.
Stephen Jackman. I'm a 10-year resident in June of Stevensville. I've lived all over Montana, and luckily I've been living in some places where many people would like to live, like Vail, Seattle, San Francisco, but Big Sky, Whitefish, Fromberg, Joliet, Fort Benton. I've been everywhere, like the song. I'm an ex-telemark skier, and my surgeon told me my cartilage looks like a 100-year-old washcloth. It's very painful for me to walk, and you never see me walk, but I bet you all have seen me ride. I ride my bike, and in fact, now I'm down to every other day. But when I first moved here, it was every day. It's what I do to keep the weight off. So for the last 10 years, I've been riding my bike down the bike path, the walking path, the bike path, to the Stevensville River Park and inside on the trails. And I didn't know till last week, because there's no sign down there. I didn't know till last week when I heard somebody go, "Hey," and I go, "What? You can't be talking to me." "Hey." Well, it was our mayor, and he was trying to let me know that it's not legal to ride a bike inside the Stevensville River Park. I didn't know about that, or I wouldn't have. And as I was telling him when I got here, I haven't ridden in there since, because I'm not the kind of person that breaks laws when I know them. But there's no signs down there. We kind of need signs down there that would let people know what activities are allowed and encouraged. I've seen plenty of bicyclists. I'm not the only one. Not tons of them, but there's a lot of bicyclists that use that area. Also horses. I've seen horses. A lot of people with dogs without leashes. And I've even seen recently some of the X-Game kids that ride that skateboard that's motorized and has the one wheel on it. You know, the one you can never even stand up on. But I've seen that. So there's a lot of good use down there. But it should be, in my mind, in my, considered opinion as a cyclist, should be open for bicycling legally. And that's why I'm here to ask you to take on that idea and see if there's anything we can do, or if there's anything outstanding that says, "Oh no, we can't do that because of this, that, or the other thing." I really encourage you to look at it. It's a great place. If you haven't been down, and I don't know, maybe not everybody here frequents the park, but birds, as you know, we're so close to the bird refuge. I see birds down there all the time. And there are times during the middle of the week when it's like I'm out in the country. So it's a great asset for me personally. And I'm not here totally altruistic. It's not that I want to do this for all the other bikers. I want to do it for myself as well. But until we change the law, you won't see me riding in the trails. And perhaps you'll see me riding on the road, because I'll ride down there until then. But I'm asking you to look at this municipal code and check it out and see if we can change it to allow cyclists on the Stevensville River Park. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Stephen and I we're not close friends, but we know each other.
He was the first person I met when I moved. You were the very first person I met when I moved here.
Okay. We're riding bikes. I ride my old fat.
You were actually out with the big dogs, and I was accosting you because I'm a huge dog fan as well. But I see him all the time riding his bikes, and we talk bikes. Cycling is too, I guess, that I see that's what's going on.
It is, and Gina rides. So I encourage Stephen to come down and approach the council about possibly changing the ordinance to allow bicycles to ride the trails out at the river park, because we don't have any other places where we can really ride our bicycles. I personally would like to, and I've talked to our parks manager, Jerry, about us going out there and improving the trails a little at a time and get them opened up so we can get bicycles out and get people out there and mobility devices, the scooters and wheelchairs, things like that, because our park is not being used by everybody that could enjoy it. So one of the things that I'm talking to Jerry about is let's see if we can't work on this project and get it opened up. And I'm going to come before council and suggest that we change the ordinance to allow bicycles in the river park. I would also like to see it out at Lee Metcalf Refuge, but those federal people, I don't think they quite understand that bicycles are very low impact. And for the most part, people that ride bicycles are pretty respectful of foot traffic. They let people know they're coming and going, and they don't tear up the trails like these e-motorcycles and things like that. E-bikes and bicycles are not destructive to the environment. They actually help people get out, enjoy the world, and get some exercise, and it's great for their health. Pretty soon, I think Stephen will be on a tricycle, like me. So, but anyway, I will be bringing that forward. And I hope that other bicyclists will come forward and let it be known that it is a great resource for them as well as for everybody else. You don't make a lot of noise, you're not tearing the trail up. It's just another way to use our park. We have 27 acres out there, and everybody should have an opportunity to use it. Okay. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate you coming forward.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the budget workshop meeting minutes for 4/8/2026 and town council meeting minutes 4/9/2026. Councilmember Smith.
I move to accept budget workshop meeting minutes 4/8/2026.
Is there a second? Karen Weinberg. Okay, so the motion on the floor to accept the minutes for the budget workshop for April 8th, 2026. Is there any discussion on that? Any questions? Is there any public comment on those? Okay. Hearing none, any further council comment or discussion? Okay, Janelle, would you call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey? Aye. Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Wandler?
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is town council meeting minutes for April 9th, 2026. Councilmember Smith.
I move to accept town council minutes of 4/9/2026.
Okay, motion on the floor to accept the council minutes for April 9th, 2026. Is there a second? Councilmember Ross.
I'll second.
Okay, so the motion on the floor has been seconded. Any questions from the council? Any public comment? Any further discussion by the council? Okay, you know, would you call for the vote, please?
Councilmember Wandler?
Aye.
Councilmember Ross?
Aye.
Councilmember Smith?
Aye.
And Councilmember Bailey?
Okay, next item on the agenda is claims. 2320 through 2345 and 2348 through 2351. Councilmember Smith.
I move to accept claims number 20327 to 20345 and 20348 through 20351.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the claims 20327 through 20345 and 20348 through 20351. Is there a second? Councilmember Wandler seconds. So the motion on the floor is to approve the claims 20327 through 20345 and 20348 through 20351. Is there any questions from the council on the claims? Councilmember Wandler.
Number 20349, we had discussed previously about soliciting bids to find out people who are interested in bids in bidding for repair of our vehicles. Has that been done?
Okay, Janelle, we've submitted that request for quote, right? For the vehicle maintenance, motor pool maintenance?
You got sick. And
Oh.
that's where it is.
We need to bring that back up. So the answer is no.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I apologize.
Well, you won't be doing that again.
I hope not. Thank you. Okay, any other council questions on the claims?
What is 20350 for?
350?
So Civic Plus, that's something that Janelle uses. It's for codification, it's for web hosting, meeting minutes. And we have several different charges because they all come at several different times of the year. This is just part of it. So this one in particular is for their codification in the town. She could probably explain that a little bit better.
When to hold our town code on the town's website and to keep that in alignment with state codes, we pay to have that service through them. And, other towns can go out in other places, but we've just kept everything in one place. And so that's what that one's for.
Any further questions? Any public comment? Any further discussion for the council? Hearing none, I call for vote.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey,
Aye.
and Councilmember Waller.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes,
would you
ma'am.
mind if I have them sign this? real
Yes,
quick?
please.
I'm sorry.
And while they're doing that, I'll go ahead and read the correspondence. Hey, we have a memo from Miss Linda Henning. Dear Mayor Cruz, do you think it is possible to get these monthly water payments down to more manageable amounts? I am on Social Security and retired. I don't make much. With everything going on, it's becoming a hardship, not only for me, but many others. If you could address this problem, it would be greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Linda Henning. This is for Miss Henning. Councilmember Bailey heads the Sewer and Water Committee, and they're working on that problem right now. So if you'd like to come to that meeting and ask further questions, that would be a great place to start. Their job is to go through and analyze what's going on with our water system, what's going on with our billing, and to find a way to reduce our costs. So it is in progress.
Yeah. May 19th, we have a meeting to review the bills and urge everyone to come if they can.
Okay, and you're getting ready for a tour, correct?
That's on the 5th, yes.
Good. We're gonna be able to make that tour. Thank you. Okay, I have no further correspondence, so the next item on the agenda is new business, discussion, decision, approval and acceptance of the Montana State Fund Workers' Compensation quote. I'm going to turn this section over to the treasurer.
Yeah, so, MMIA was our work comp carrier, and they're phasing out. Basically, they were kind of undercut by Montana State Fund. Montana State Fund came in and took all of their cities, and so it kind of forced MMIA to close their work compensation program. So as of June 30th, they will not be providing work comp to anybody in the state. They'll be providing our benefits and everything, but just no more workers. So I went out and did some research on who we could secure for our workers' compensation, and Montana State Fund is the only one that would give us a quote. Nobody else would give us a quote because they don't either cover municipalities, or if they did, we're too small. So we are left with workers' comp with Montana State Fund. And actually, we do have a pretty good rate. It's a little bit less than what we were paying with MMIA. I'm sure as time goes on that we will go up, but I don't know. We're pretty good as far as our work comp claims. We don't have any long-standing or out things that are out there right now, so our records are pretty good. So this is basically just to approve that where we can secure, we can get Montana State Fund. It takes them a little while to put their stuff in for us. So this is just to approve it where I can let them know, hey, we're good to go, and go ahead and write the contract for it, or whatever they do.
Thank you, Gina. Any questions from the council? Yes, Ms. Bailey?
So this policy would just be good for 1 year, and then we reevaluate our rates for the next fiscal year, or how does that work?
It's really hard with the municipalities, especially as small as we are. I mean, we can look, and we will look, but normally, it's kind of hard to secure a different company.
Sure,
So-
no, I was just curious if they were gonna raise their rates next year, you know, if we're
If
obligated
they
to pay
do,
those
they
rates.
do, we'll ask.
Okay,
Yeah, if they do, we'll ask.
so the town would not be under any obligation to pay, you know, twice as much next year. We're not under any sort of contract with them to
Well, it all depends on their rate. It all depends on their rates, right?
Mhm.
So if, and I don't know, I haven't seen anything with them, but they're not gonna give us a 3-year contract at a certain rate. That's just not how they work.
Mhm.
So, they're just gonna probably say at the end of the year, we're gonna reevaluate and see where we stand. as a whole, and they'll adjust the rates accordingly. MMIA did the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, they did the same thing, so.
Any other questions or comments from the council on that? Any public comment? Okay, could I have a motion, please? Councilmember Smith.
I move to approve and accept the Montana State Fund Workers' Compensation quote.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve and accept the Montana State Fund Workers' Compensation quote. Is there a second? Councilmember Ross.
Second.
Okay, so the motion on the floor and a second to approve and accept the Montana State Fund Workers' Compensation quote. Is there any further council discussion on this?
Nothing outside that, the numbers look pretty good.
Okay, Janelle, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey. Aye. Councilmember Wandler.
Aye.
And Councilmember Ross.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. Next item on the agenda is discussion decision approval of closed town hall on April 29, 2026 for training purposes. We have requested MMIA to come down and provide training for us on the 29th for the council and the mayor and any other town that wants to come in and participate. We said we would foot the bill for that. And we've got one town that's accepted, and that's Alberton. They're going to bring the clerk, the mayor, and one council member down. We've also requested that any of our department heads that can attend will attend. Chief Bo will be attending. Steve Lassiter from Public Works will be attending. And Gina, you're going to be out, right? Okay. The clerk and the deputy clerk will be here. So, but, and Jessica can't because she's got court, right? Right.
All day.
So we'll get as many people as we can trained up. I've invited the department heads because I think it's very important that our town staff knows how government works. It's one thing to be out there in the field all the time and come in here and say, I need to get this and that, and find out that there's a long process. They need to know why there's a process and how it gets done. And that's why I've asked the department heads to come. It's free training for the department heads, and they should not be turning it down. So, any questions from the council on that?
How much does the training cost for them to come out?
It's $1,500, right?
And that's for an unlimited number of people to attend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've asked if the other towns want to come and they want to contribute, by all means do so. So as a matter of fact, the town's gonna buy pizza for lunch. And Cindy and I are donating a meat platter with cheeses and a veggie tray and of course the cookies. Okay, so it'll be a good event. You'll have a good time. You'll learn a lot. Surprisingly, every time I go to one of these, I learn something new. And you may not be able to make it. Is that correct, Cameron?
I should be there.
You should be able to. Outstanding. You know, and if Mrs. Ross wants to come, she's more than welcome to attend as well. I think planning and zoning should be there if you can.
Yeah.
Any public comment? The town hall will be closed next Wednesday for the entire day.
As soon as we approve.
So you're approved. Okay, no public comment? Any further discussion from the council? Hearing none, I call for the vote.
I need a motion.
Oh,
And a
need a
second.
motion, sorry. Getting ahead of the game here. Go ahead.
I move to approve the closure of the town hall on April 29th for training purposes.
Okay, motion on the floor to approve the closed town hall on April 29th, 2026 for training purposes.
Second.
Okay, motion is seconded on the floor. So the motion is to approve and close town hall on April 29th, 26 for training purposes. Now, one of the reasons we have to do this is because the mayor's office cannot just close town hall. It takes a decision by the council to close town hall. And we also have to provide public notice to the public that a quorum of the council will be convened, but no business will be conducted. It will only be for training purposes. Okay,
That should be in the Bitterroot Star, I guess.
okay, yes, Councilmember.
You say the closed town hall, is that, mean all of town activity?
The town hall, the clerk's office, okay, the police department will still be operating, the fire department will still be operating, and the judge will be operating,
And public works.
and public works. Yeah, but the public works superintendent, he's gonna be here at the training. Okay, and he may have to leave in an emergency, you know, you never know. But to close that office over there, primarily for the clerk's office, that we have to have council permission to do that. Any public comment on that? Any further comment from the council? Okay, Janelle, if you would please call for the vote.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
Councilmember Wondler,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey. Aye. And Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries 4-0. Next item on the agenda is appointment of Mr. Austin Kirkland as a volunteer firefighter recruit for the Stevensville Fire Department. Okay, Mr. Austin, would you stand up and introduce yourself? Is anybody else here from the fire department?
Don't believe so.
Okay. Please introduce yourself to the council.
My name is Austin Kirkman. I'm 21 years old. I moved out here last June to apprentice under my father as a barber down at the Westbound Barber Shop on Main Street. I figured volunteer fire is a great way to give back to my community. I have experienced a lot of car accidents and things of that such of people I've known, both in high school and in middle school, and a fair amount of people younger than me also passing that as well. So anything I can do to try and help out and help prevent or mitigate some of that damage that occurred from the same things I experienced, I will gladly take that opportunity.
Well, thank you. I hope that things work out, that we never have to see you getting a life-saving award, but if you do, I welcome you to be one of the ones doing it.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Councilmember Smith?
Yeah, Austin, what, do you have any certifications that you're bringing with you?
None as of while I'm joining. However, I have been going to the trainings along with the rest of the fire department to both just study and to start practicing getting stuff on. They've talked about both training me how to drive the engine. I believe it's one of the first things they're going to train me how to do. After that, there's a Firefighter 1 course I'll be taking, and I'll be looking to take EMT courses as well.
Thank you, young man, for your interest.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Any questions from the council? Any public comment? Ms. Ross?
Tamara Ross, 511 Charlotte Street. Public comment for both volunteer recruitments on the agenda tonight. Just wanted to thank you for your volunteer time and your commitment, as well as donating your time. Of course, we all know time is precious, and whatever you're taking away from to give your public duty or your public volunteer time is greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Ms. Ross.
Yeah, I just want to shake his hand.
Do you like chili?
You just got involved.
You like chili?
Yes,
Well, get to know him, will you?
I was at that chili cook-off.
Okay, any further public comment? Any further questions from the council? Okay, can I get a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion. I move that we appoint Austin Kirkland as a volunteer firefighter recruit for SFD.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve the appointment of Austin Kirkland as a volunteer firefighter recruit for the Stevensville Fire Department. Is there a second? Councilmember Smith.
Happily second.
Very good. Okay, so there's a person second on the floor to appoint Austin Kirkland as a volunteer firefighter recruit for the Stevensville Fire Department. Is there any further council discussion? Okay, Janelle, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Bailey. Aye. Councilmember Ross.
Aye.
Councilmember Wondler.
Aye.
And Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Congratulations.
Thank you so
Thank you.
You got 4 stars, now you get to move on.
It is very nice. It is very nice to see a young man volunteer. It really is. Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is discussion decision appointment of Mr. Jared Colton Johnston as a volunteer firefighter recruit for the Stevensville Fire Department. Mr. Johnston is not here tonight. Okay? So any questions from the council regarding the recruit?
Do you have any information on
I personally do not. He was recommended by the chief of the fire department, so that's good enough for me. Any public comment? Can I get a motion on the floor, please? Councilmember Bailey.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Jared Colton Johnson as a volunteer firefighter recruit for the SFD.
Okay, is there a second? Okay. So there's first and second on the floor to appoint Mr. Jared Colton Johnson as a volunteer firefighter recruit for the Stevensville Fire Department. Is there any further council discussion? Okay, hearing none, I'll call for the vote.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey,
Aye.
and Councilmember Wandler.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is discussion, decision, approval of Stevensville Harvest Valley Farmers Market for April 2nd, 2026.
May 2nd.
I'm sorry, did I say April?
Yeah.
April 2026. Councilmember Smith,
Is it, can I make a motion to put E and F together?
you may.
Yes. Since it's the same thing.
Okay, so the motion on the floor to combine items E and F as one item for approval, review and approval. Is there a second? Okay, so the motion on the floor the first and second on the floor to combine items E and F as one item. Is there any comment from the public on this? Any council discussion? Can I get a vote on that motion, please?
Councilmember Wandler,
Aye.
Councilmember Bailey,
Aye.
Councilmember Ross,
Aye.
and Councilmember Smith.
Aye.
Okay, so back to the original agenda items. We have two items to discuss, and that's approval of the Stevensville Harvest Valley Farmers Market for May 2nd, 2026, and the renewal, which is 2 weeks later, on May 16th, 2026. Is there any questions from the council on that? Councilmember Ross.
I guess my question is why we're voting on this? Because it is not an ongoing event, it's a reoccurring event.
Okay,
And we have had a discussion about this.
yes, we have. First off, the permit hadn't been fully approved because they just got their 5013C. Okay, so they get their business license. So now we can approve the event. And we're going, the discussions with the farmer market and the town attorney and the mayor's office have concluded that they will come back every 2 weeks and ask for renewal of this for this year. Okay, as a courtesy, because our town ordinance says that. We're trying to comply with the town ordinance. We gave some leeway on the pricing for this year, but we're sticking to our guns on the 2 week reoccurring event for our town ordinance.
Okay,
And they agreed to do that.
yeah, no, that's fine, I just think it takes up a lot of time, and the ordinance states that an ongoing event,
Well,
which is
and
not,
you have to look at the literal definitions of reoccurring and ongoing. Okay, if you read the definitions of the two, they're pretty similar.
yes, but they're not the same. And you and I have had a discussion about this, and you have agreed that it was a reoccurring and not an ongoing. And so, to me, we're wasting a lot of town time and public's time and the farmer's market's time for something that I believe is not necessary. To me, we've approved the permit, it should be good to go. We're not violating the ordinance. And that's my opinion, but
Okay.
based on our discussion, that was something that there's a difference between reoccurring and ongoing.
Okay.
I just want to say.
Thank you. Councilmember Smith.
Well, since this has been taken to the town attorney and all that, I'm more inclined to go with that until we change the town code.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Bailey.
What is the definition of reoccurring versus ongoing? How are we defining those as different?
Well, it's kind of weird because reoccurring would be an individual event occurring again and then occurring again and again, whereas an ongoing would be this event starts here and it continues
Multiple days.
without break.
Okay,
But this event actually has been approved for every Saturday for 23 weeks. But there's a week between each day, so it's kind of a hybrid. Farmer's market is okay with it, the clerk's office is okay with it, the mayor's okay with it, the town attorney's okay with it. So we decided that we would do that, and farmer's market actually suggested to do the 2-week renewal. They would comply with that. So we're trying to make it work, and we know we have a problem, but we've got to change the ordinance. But again, it costs a lot of money and time to change the ordinance, and we're gonna do it. There's no doubt we're gonna do it. And as soon as we do it, we can eliminate this.
To me, that if there's no need to change it if we're viewing it as recurring, because we've already spent way more money with the attorney discussing something that we're already far into the red as far as specifically any special permits income we're gonna make for the year. And then to now say that we're gonna change the ordinance, which is gonna cost even more money, we're just wasting time and money at this point for something that reoccurring every Saturday, it reoccurs. And it's not an ongoing thing that's for the 2 weeks. We're not approving it for the farmer's market to be up and going for every day for the next 2 weeks. And then we have to reapprove it again for every day for the next 2 weeks. We're approving it to happen once and then reoccur again the next week. And so we're spending a lot of money and time on something that should be very straightforward. And I understand that they've offered to do this, and I'm just stating that we've already spent a bunch of money trying to figure this out, and then now the solution is to spend more money.
So here's a $37 question. Is a reoccurring event, are they separate? Or is it a continuous event?
They would be separate events.
So do we charge them a special event fee for every event?
We've approved them with their permit. How we have approved the permit is the one-time fee.
But was it approved as a reoccurring event?
It was approved for all of those days. That reoccurs every.
So we're in that zone in our ordinance where we're darned if we do and we're darned if we don't. This is a good compromise. So every 2 weeks, it's just gonna come back and we're gonna say, yeah, okay. It doesn't take that much time to do.
But then there's sometimes that it doesn't line up. And then we
Right,
have to
it
approve
doesn't.
2 at a time. And then, I understand that this is a current solution. I'm just saying that we're going down a dark hole of spending more money for something that's where we've brought in a fifth of what we're spending for this specific permit. And I think it's unnecessary. And I believe that ongoing was intended to be, hey, you have the rodeo in town for a month. They're gonna be here. Halfway through, the town comes to us and says, hey, we're having a hard time with parking because of this ongoing event. And that gives us the opportunity as the council to then say, hey, we are here to to approve you for this second ongoing 2 weeks, but for us to do that, you need to fix your parking problem. Not hey, this is something that's happening once a week, reoccurring every week.
Councilmember Bailey.
Thank you, sorry. What's the cost of the town to update the ordinance?
About $600, isn't it?
Yeah, upwards of anywhere from between $500 and $850,
And how much have we spent on attorney fees for this?
$3,000.
And we're bringing in $500 for the year.
This year,
Yeah,
this year.
Between the special events that will take place that you guys have already heard of or given approval to, right about $550, yes.
I think the language in the ordinance is vague enough that it would be worth it to us to clean it up and clarify and define every scenario and like really spend time to get it perfect so that we don't have to come back and spend more attorney fees next year on a different
I
event
agree.
or anything like
But-
that.
But I'm gonna enlighten you a little bit too. We change the ordinance, the attorney has to re-review it.
Well, sure, it's a one-time thing rather than every year we're having to argue semantics over
Right.
reoccurring, and you know what I mean, like they're different, and I understand that I didn't see it earlier, but now that you guys explain it to me, that makes sense, and I see where he's coming from, because, yeah, it's not an ongoing month-long event, it's every weekend,
So that was the big dilemma,
yeah.
whether or not it was 23 separate events, which would have been a lot of money.
Mhm.
Or is it an ongoing event spaced over 23 separate days? So that's where this all came together at. So we reached a compromise that will work right now, and that's why we're bringing it back right now. Let's get this done and because they're coming up next weekend is their event.
Right.
So we can either approve it or not approve it. It's up to you folks. Councilmember Bailey.
So isn't it an event that has more than 1,000 people has to come before council?
Well, see, that's the other question. Is it accumulate, because this is not in our ordinance, is it a individual day or is it a cumulative event? Because if it's a cumulative event, at a minimum, it's 200 people per day times 23 days. How much is that?
You got it, yes. You got
Over
it.
1,000.
So that's where it comes into play. That's another aspect of it. So we got more than just one thing to clean up in the ordinance. We have several ordinances that we've got to clean up. So I think we're doing okay right now in getting this done this way. It will work.
To fill out this year, why couldn't we just have them do one application for this year, say specific dates, and we approve it?
We
We tried.
And I'm not advocating that we're not improving, I just am pointing out a flaw.
It is a flaw. And the bad news is the government's not perfect right now. It's never gonna be perfect, but we'll work through it and get it done the best we can.
I think we also need to review the ordinance, your resolution on rates, and then also the application in tandem, so that we understand how all those documents work together. Like we have in here, if the event is ongoing, reoccurring event, the permit must be renewed every 2 weeks, but then the ordinance doesn't say recurring. So I think we really need to shore it up. And I think this is something that we have to fix sooner rather than later, so that we don't run into this for folks who are.
Actually, I think the correct answer might be to minimize how much the special event permit is covered in the ordinance and do it by resolution. It won't cost us much money to do it by resolution. So we go in and we reduce the amount of requirement in the ordinance and say that the special events will be controlled by a town resolution. And then that's up to you folks.
Right,
Makes it a lot easier.
we can weigh the resolution, requirements in a resolution, correct, as a committee?
Yes.
Okay, so then that gives us more leeway to.
That's the way we're looking at doing it. Make it a lot more simple. As a matter of fact, state law I don't know if you've looked at the Montana code lately. They have repealed so many laws that I had to go looking for something the other day and I can't find it. And one of the things I went looking for was the definition of a bicycle. Okay, a bicycle is actually now not just a one wheel or two wheel or three wheel or four wheel man-powered conveyance. It's now considered a vehicle. So the state legislature calls a bicycle a vehicle, and that's one of the reasons why you can't ride a bicycle down at the River Park, because a bicycle is called a vehicle. So we have to be really careful how we do some of this stuff. Otherwise, we'll lock people into things that we don't want to get locked into. Councilmember Smith, yeah.
I'm just going to say, this is why it says the wheels of government move very slowly.
Very slowly. Any further comment by the council?
I do have a question as far as the energy metering. Do we have an update on how they plan to do that?
What the farmer's market is going to do is they're going to go to the pole. When they start up in the morning, they'll take a date, time picture of the meter. At the end of the day, they'll do the same thing. They'll bring that to us so we can analyze how much power they're using.
And what's the rate that they'll be charged for their power usage? Is that outlined
Just
somewhere?
whatever we're getting charged right now.
Okay, very good.
Which, you know, the interesting thing is there's a base rate on the meter. Whether you use anything or not, you're gonna get charged a base rate at your house.
Yeah.
So we may be running into the same situation there. I don't know yet. We won't know until we get into it.
Do
Councilmember
we
Schmidt.
have a contingency if they might forget to take the picture?
We'll hope they're more diligent than that.
Yeah, but this is all new, you know?
There's still the base rate in the permit that we can charge them if they don't.
Right, we can refer back to our resolution on the daily usage and just charge them that if they don't have the metering themselves.
So for this year, how much are they paying?
I'm sorry?
How much are they paying for use this year?
Well, right now, they're paying $125 for the special event permit, okay? And we're gonna look at the power, and when they get it all analyzed at the end of the season, they will go before their board, and their board will approve the power usage. They'll come back to us and we'll talk it over, and we'll make a decision, and you folks can decide at council how much you're charging.
So they will pay $150 for all of it. And
It depends on what they,
Other than the meter, forget the meter, just for the usage,
I'm sorry, say that again?
just for the,
Yes, they'll pay the 125 for the special permit.
for all of it.
Totally.
This
Excluding,
year I see them in red, fee waived, so, but they did pay already. Thank you.
And they did get their 5013C, that came through yesterday, right?
And they have paid their 125 for their farmer's market, and they paid their 125 for their Father's Day car show as well. So they are paid in full.
Any other council questions? Public comment? Could I have a motion on the floor, please?
I'll make a motion that we approve the Stevensville Harvest Valley Farmers Market for May 2nd, 2026 and May 16th, 2026.
Okay, so the motion on the floor to approve Stevensville Harvest Valley Farmers Market for May 2nd and through May 16th, 2026. Is there a second? Okay, motion on the floor has been seconded. Any further public or council comment or discussion? Okay, Janelle, would you please call for the vote?
Councilmember Ross,
aye.
Councilmember Wandler,
Aye.
Councilmember Smith,
Aye.
and Councilmember Bailey.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries 4-0. Board report, Sewer Water Advisory Committee. Do you have a board report?
I kind of already gave it. We're meeting May 5th to have a tour of the facilities, and then we're meeting again on the 19th to go over finances with Gina and Robert. So
Okay.
making some progress there. Very exciting.
Okay, and what day is your tour of the plant?
That is May 5th, Cinco de Mayo.
May 5th. Okay.
The committee will meet here at 4:30. Yes,
There'll be tacos at the plant.
I can't promise that, no. I'm sorry.
I don't think I want to. Okay. You've come up with your,
Bylaws?
bylaws,
They
yes.
were approved at our recent meeting, so they'll probably be on, an agenda for you guys here shortly, I would assume.
Excellent. And everybody understand the mission is to look at what's going on and try to get a resolution, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And how many members on the board now?
Oh, gosh, I think 6, yes.
Okay, you had one drop out, right?
We did, yes.
Good. Town council comments, or excuse me, are there any other board reports? Town council comments. Nothing. Okay, executive report. I don't have a lot to report, this week. I'm still recovering. The doctor gave a good report. He said, the surgery was successful. It was kind of a fluke to have that kind of obstruction. I have a small narrowing on the starboard side. That's the right side for those landlubbers. Okay. A small narrowing, nothing. Other than that, that's all I got for tonight. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, is there a second? All in favor?
All right.
Okay.
Right on.
Hang it down.